Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, Kai has a problem. Everywhere he goes, people end up dying around him. Just a thought, it might just be that Ebola he's carrying. Tonight's movie, Ebola Syndrome.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. Hey there, Baby Circus. Anyways, episode number 12, coming off of last night's excellent serial killer movie, Frailty. I thought, you know what, it's been a while since I went to Asia in the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. A couple movies. But anyways, so we have to always go back, and, we hit Japan, we hit Korea, but now it's time to hit one of my favorite places, Hong Kong. Yes, Zankoku, Tenshi stands with Hong Kong. I guess I'm banned in China now. Whatever. Anyways, freedom! Anyways, and I will talk about a Hong Kong horror movie that, as you know, if you've seen the last several iterations of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, you will realize, especially last time, that there are some batshit freaking insane Hong Kong horror movies out there, and they are usually crazy and a whole lot of fun. And this movie is no exception. This movie is called Ebola Syndrome. So what is Ebola Syndrome about? Well, it starts off with this man named Kai, who is having sex with his boss's wife. And of course, the boss comes in and starts roughing him up, and he's like probably going to end up getting murdered. The boss has his wife pee on him. I mean, yeah, usually there's some guys out there who will pay big money for that, but apparently this is insulting. I would agree, it is insulting. Anyways, so he sees a chance to get away, but not only get away, but to murder the boss, his friend, and, of course, the wife, all kind of in front of their young daughter, who is traumatized by the situation. So he decides the only solution to that is to pour a whole bunch of gasoline on the girl and try to light her on fire. But someone shows up, and he just kind of this is how ridiculous the movie. The guy shows us, like, what the hell's going on here? It's like, dude, don't you see I'm murdering people? Ugh, and then just kind of leaves. And right, this is how this movie is gonna be, I guess. Anyways, the daughter survives. Fast forward 10 years, he has fled to South Africa from Hong Kong because, he's wanted for triple murder and attempted homicide of a little girl, and attempted arson. Also, it would probably be the thing there. So he is working for a Chinese restaurant in South Africa where the owner is sick and tired of dealing with the white people at the butcher, always charging him so much. So he's going to go to the black people who are in villages, tribal type people, Zulu, as they call them, and get a cheaper price for their beef. Of course, this village has an outbreak of Ebola, and showing how wonderful a human being Kai is, they get into a little bit of a car accident, the boss and Kai. Kai kind of wanders off and finds a woman, a tribal woman, who kind of just passed out, probably because she's infected with Ebola, and he's first he's like, oh, let me see if I can help her, but, she's topless, and she's got the skirt, probably not wearing underwear, so he decides the best course of action is to rape her. I mean, literally, he's like, oh, I can't pass this up, so, and he's all like, she's so fucking dry. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess technically, if you got Ebola, you should be bleeding from all your orifices, but let's not get into that. Anyway, so, of course, he does it, and in the middle, she starts convulsing and dying, and he's now infected. However, he's a carrier, not going to die. He gets a fever, but kind of overcomes it, and now he's just spreading Ebola around. And literally, he's spreading Ebola throughout South Africa, and decides, well, because he was sick and people were worried, the boss and his wife hates the guy, Kai, and decides that, we need to get rid of this guy and dump him in the woods. So he decides, I need to get some vengeance, and murders the owner and the wife and their cousin, and chops them up and cooks them at the restaurant and feeds them to the patrons, and then decides to go back, finding all the money that was stashed by the owner of the restaurant, go back to Hong Kong on an assumed identity and continue to spread the Ebola there. And then we get the wonderful job of the police to investigate the Ebola outbreak, because that's what police do. Anyway, so let's get to those scores, shall we? Because so far it's probably sounding ridiculous, and it is. But anyways, violence and gore, it is a 5 out of 5. This movie is bloody, it is disgusting. There's a lot of violence, a lot of sexual violence, a lot of just, like, there's a part where, like, they're peeling part of the guy's skin off, like, in an autopsy. There's a lot of disgusting things going on in this movie, so it's up there, 5 out of 5. The shock value, look, there's not jump scares in this movie. The shock value is in the ridiculousness of the story, the rapiness of the story, the vileness of the main character. Holy cow, you want him to just die. You want him to die, and he's such a jackass too. He's one of those guys who blames everything on everything else, that nothing is his fault. Like, he does not take responsibility for anything. It's Ebola's fault that people are getting infected, not his fault for being stupid and being a jackass. It's not his fault he's killing people because he's being bullied by them, things like that. Anyways, there's I guess a strong anti-bullying message in this movie. Anyways, shock value is 3 out of 5. Plot, it's a 2 out of 5. Look, it's ridiculous. Like, things would not be happening like this, especially with a deadly outbreak like that. It just wouldn't happen like this. There's no way he'd be able to get back to Hong Kong on that fake passport that he himself created. No way. I mean, it's a whole bunch of ridiculousness in this story, but that's not the point of this movie. The plot is not the strength of this movie. The plot is there to just get the narrative so that the insanity can unfold before your eyes. So there you have it. 2 out of 5. Acting, also a 2 out of 5. Look, everyone is over the top. Everyone is insanely over the top. Everything is overacted. It is ridiculous. It is noticeable, somewhat jarring at sometimes, but still maybe it kind of contributes to the fun of the movie. The kind of it's bad but it's good type of thing. But still, the acting, yeah, it's really, really terrible. And 0 nuance. Anyway, so 2 out of 5. Nudity, 4 out of 5. There is a whole bunch of it in this movie, and yeah, I'll leave it at that. It's violent and full of body parts, particulars here and there. So anyway, so there you have it. 4 out of 5. Enjoyment factor, I am giving this a 4 out of 5. Look, it is a batshit crazy movie, but it's a whole lot of fun to watch just to see what the hell they're gonna do next. And boy, it's surprising, and it's a fun watch to just have fun. Make fun of, like, the things that are going on in this movie. Don't take it seriously. It's just, a vile, wretched piece of entertainment. And for some people, that will be like the final nail in my coffin right there. Anyways, so there you go. 4 out of 5. Overall impression is a 3 out of 5. Look, its flaws definitely drag it down a bit in the score department, but yet still a solid movie that I suggest to anyone who likes insane, messy, violent, vile, trashy, and also Hong Kong or Asian horror movies. So there you have it. 3 out of 5 overall impression. And that averages out to a solid 3.3 out of 5. So there you have it, Ebola Syndrome. What did you think? Have you seen it? Tell me in the comment section below. Don't forget to rate and subscribe and hit the cowbell, the ding bell, the ding battle, the notification bell. And I will see you next time on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. Thank you again for watching and being here with me during this Mayhem Massacre month. And remember to stay scary, Internet. And also, it shouldn't even have to be said, but don't rape dead girls or dying girls. Just don't rape anybody. Don't. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for anyone. It's not good for society. It's not good for anything. It's just don't do it. Plus, you might get Ebola, and yeah. So, blah!